Happy Wednesday, Raven fans, Orioles fans. Thank you very much for joining us here. It's time for the Ravori Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So we want to thank you, all of you who have been watching us. Our Facebook, after a while, now has really been growing. So I want to thank all of you who have been watching us on our Facebook, watching our shorts mostly, honestly, on the Facebook. About 7, I haven't checked it yet, but we could be at 700 right now. Let's see. We might be at 700 followers on Facebook, just on the page. So we want to thank all of you as well for getting squared away with that. Finally feel kind of caught up here after taking a little bit of time away here. Finally feeling caught back up because we got a football season coming up. Still got Orioles games. We're going to go ahead and go over that. And then we're going to have Ravens games. We're going to have Terps here pretty soon. Speaking of the Terps, since you brought it up, NFL, August 30th, Maryland football preview as well. Terps this year, going to be very fascinating. Mike Loxley is back. Malik Washington is back. Zion Math, a lot of the guys, the very good defense that they had last year with a lot of interceptions, a lot of those players are going to be returning. So it wasn't a lot of transfer portal and all these new players. It was a lot of players that they're bringing back that were there last year. So interesting to see how that goes for the Ravens. For the Terps this year. Not predicted to be too high in the Big Ten, because the Big Ten, I think, is probably, and there's no problem to it, the best conference in all college football. Oregon, Ohio State. I think Penn State is still going to be really good as well. Michigan, we want to see USC, etc. So definitely too. And Indiana, of course, the national championship. So definitely check that out. Maryland football preview, NFL preseason predictions video, September 6th. The season, by the way, is going to start on a Wednesday, it looks like, this year. So we may have to move on Tuesday. We'll have the podcast on Tuesday, not because it's going to be the same night as the NFL, starting NFL. If it does that night, we'll decide on that pretty soon. But if it does that night, it'll be before the game. It might coming on a little bit earlier, so you guys can go ahead and watch the opener, the Pats and the Seahawks there that well. Ravens on Sunday. We'll talk about that, of course. Genesis Notary Services. Facebook.com. Definitely too back in business with the notary business. We appreciate all of you out there that have helped us with that in the Winchester, Shenandoah Valley area. Also to see Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. Legal Shield, great value. Great value. I'm going to say it every week because it's true every week. The value of Legal Shield is absolutely tremendous. And always our flagship, RavoriSports.company.site. Absolutely check it out. The blog is back. Today we were talking Ravens and Orioles in the blog, talking about Nate Wiggins' scare in camp, as long as the Orioles finally getting a win yesterday, losing today. Shane Baz, I feel terrible for him. I mean, he wasn't that great today, but not really getting any run support every time he pitches. It seems like he doesn't. When he gets some run support like he did today, he doesn't pitch well. And then when he does pitch well, which is more than not, they don't score for him. So Shane Bass has had a tough luck here. All right. Second training camp report. So definitely, too, we are on, I think it's day 13 of the camp. We're going to have a game this Saturday night. Definitely, too, so check it out as well. First game here. One notable thing you're going to notice right away, no Jerry Sandusky anymore on the call, new announcer for the Ravens here as well. So let's take a look here at what's been going on in camp. Let's go ahead and take a look at the star of camp here, Jacoby Lane here, getting work in. All right, so there you go. One of the catches he's making, he's been the star so far of camp. Everybody's talking about it. Even now, not only just Ravens media and us here getting national attention for the stuff he's doing in camp. So let's go ahead and talk about camp. We're going to go ahead and start with Saturday since we did a podcast Friday and we talked about it like last week. One highlight came from Baltimore Sports. We just talked about Jalen Lane. Impressive catches, got a little bit longer. One-on-one drill, made a one-handed catch. He's been doing this all camp as well. So he's been very, very impressive. Everybody's been going on and on about him. Also, too, running with also having an impressive camp, running mostly with the first team. This is not against, Logger, Beam, and Blair Coleman like the backup guy. He's going against Nate Wiggins, Humphrey, and all that. Of course, we're going to talk about those guys. But this is not just him, this is going against a first team, a very good defense, what he is doing in camp. Jesse Minter even complimented him as well. It's like, look, he's doing this enough now where this matters, right? So could be locking in on that third receiver. I don't know if you're going to have him unseat Bateman, but certainly could be locking in on that third receiver ahead of Des Walker right now. Interesting. Kyle Hamilton is a menace in the backfield early in practice. Broke up a screen pass intended for Faye Flowers, called offside and then for a facility. Knocked away a screen pass as well. Derrick Henry on this particular play. Kyle Hamilton has been looking fantastic in camp. The only question about Kyle Hamilton, can he become the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year at some point? I think safety may be the hardest position to do that, but I'm not convinced there's 5 players better than Kyle Hamilton, period, on defense. Everything he does well, line of scrimmage, in coverage, on the outside, in the slot. He's been looking great in camp, so that's been positive as well. Also Saturday, Ronnie Stanley and CJ Okoye returned to practice after missing Thursday's practice early. Calais Campbell didn't practice. They're not going to call it a vet day with Ronnie Stanley, but I'm sure that's kind of what it was with him at his age. They don't necessarily want to work at him too hard in camp as well. CJ Okoye coming back from injury. He's trying to make the team as one of the backup defensive tackles. I do believe this year they probably could carry 3 backups as well. So we'll see there as well. Calais Campbell didn't practice. Again, I'm not too worried about that. Calais is going to do what Calais is going to do. Calais is 40 years old. I don't care as long as he's healthy when the bell rings and the season starts when the first gun goes off. What are you going to show Calais Campbell at his age as far as that goes? So we'll see there as well. Sunday, to the run to the left side, defensive lineman Aaron Graves hit Adam Randall in the backfield, but Randall reversed and rumbled up the sideline for a big chunk gain. Randall has looked good as well, better than anticipated as far as catching the ball out of the backfield. So at his size, it's easy to say, well, this guy is just going to be Derrick Henry type, just run up the middle, etc. They've really looked at him as a guy that's really done well catching the ball out of the backfield. So that's been surprising and a good surprise as well. I do think it will be him as your third running back this year. You're going to have Derrick Henry, obviously. You're going to have Justice Hill, obviously. And then you're going to have Adam Randall. So I do think that's going to be the trio of running backs that you're going to have this year going forward as well. Offensive unit. Struggled to find rhythm. False starts caused some uncovered third and longs that had a lot to do with that. The Ravens defense also generated a couple of turnovers. Offense has been a bit of a concern. You're a bit uneven, I think, on offense. there's even saying this. People even saying Lamar hasn't even had a particularly great camp here as well. So I do think that's a thing. I'm not overly concerned about vets. We'll get to Mark Andrews too, but I'm not overly concerned about vets in camp. Good vets that are good players, good NFL level players, starters, even good, have not great training camps at times. So I do think that's a real thing that I do think that's a real thing that it's not always all good with running backs and with offensive players and vets and all that as well. Not a great camp for them. Guys is having a good camp. Going under the radar. Chandler Rivers had another solid day. Made a practice. Made a tackle for loss after a halfback toss to Randall and almost had a leaping pass break up the line of scrimmage with wide receiver Elijah Skurrat. Chandler Rivers, I think, has looked good. All through camp, I think I see his name that it keeps coming up. So I think Chandler Rivers definitely could be a guy that becomes one of the better options at the third cornerback. So definitely too, you had some injury scares. It's going to be on Chandler Rivers, TJ Tampa, and all those guys, etc., who have both looked good in camp. So that's good, along with a lot of the defense as well. Oh, real quick, Skurrat. I want to talk about him. Name not coming up as much, obviously, with all the Jacoby Lane talk. So definitely too, I definitely think he makes the roster. I don't think he's in the mix as far as third receiver or anything like that right now. Jacoby Lane is just blowing him out of the water right now. Des Walker. All right. Tuesday, Marlon Humphrey had one of the best practices. A breakup against Mark Andrews with the interception in the back of the end zone, running at partial speed. Marlon Humphrey, big season for him. Big season for Marlon. Looked decent enough in camp. I do like that the fact I heard him say that he wanted to actually go to the coaches and have them extra critique him. So anything that he is doing wrong. The rest of that is for you, honey. Everybody else ate. So whatever's there is yours. Dad moment. Right. So Marlon Humphrey really has been a guy that has really not been particularly great in we'll talk about let's finish with Marlon. But Marlon, I think, has really been going to the coaches, really trying to lock in with the coaches, really trying to get on board. He's the guy last year with all the interceptions, been decent in camp. We'll see how it goes. Jacoby Lane has been going well against him, so we'll see about that. Andrews has not apparently had great separation in camp. There's some concern with Andrews as well. I don't overly concern myself with veterans. He could be the end for Mark Andrews. I think that's a little hyperbolic to say after a few cancers. We are seeing, though, as he gets older, a little bit more lulls in production. So I think that's accurate. But I think you are seeing a little bit more lulls in production with Andrews. But I'm not, again, too worried about him here so far. Tyler Lopez has been good lately. 7 for 7 on his last 5 field goals, and this was Tuesday. 34, 35, 39, 39, 41, 42, 47. It's the third straight day that Luke hasn't missed. Again, needed a good camp. I think had he struggled in camp, I think his job could have been in jeopardy. But he's had a strong camp. Can he make field goals in a crucial situation where the lights are on? But I think he's had a good camp. He's kind of maintained his job. I think that's great. So definitely and I think he's a good kicker. I think he was good most of last year. So I think like a good camp, he deserves another shot. Travis Jones is back in action. The defensive tackle joined practice after passing his physical and being removed from the PUP list. Jones was reportedly dealing with a pectoral issue. So that's good to see, Travis Jones. And again, we're early in the camp. the first 2 weeks, if guys have injuries, you don't always know. They're kind of slow walking guys in a lot of cases. There's something that like this, especially a guy who's going to be so important, your nose tackle during the season like Jones, get it fixed right now, right? Let's not do too much here. Let's get you right. Let's get you squared away with that. Nate Wiggins, obviously yesterday as well, big scare. We posted it on our site. Nate Wiggins, lower injury, got taken off on the cart. Good news. Ian Rappaport comes out, no structural damage, no serious damage. So it looks like they dodged a bullet. As far as that goes, look, everybody knows if you watch football, the card is not good. the card is not good. I mean, it used to be if you're on the cart, that was all over. When they send the card out, you can't walk off the field. So no structural damage and everything like that. Good news. I don't think he was at practice today. Today you had an injury. Marlon Humphrey left practice about an hour in. Members of the last training, they used to have a play after a deep pass with Jacoby Lane. Marlon Humphrey, deep pass to Marlon Humphrey, and Marlon Humphrey, there you go, took his helmet off to the sideline, and it wasn't clear what was bothering him. Again, I think all parties are being cautious. Marlon gets taken off the field, did walk off it on his own power as well. More structure from the defense as well. Doesn't look like it's anything super serious or anything that's going to be multi-weeks or anything like that. Bears just had like Kobe Bryant out for a few weeks as well. So we will see about that as far as that goes as well. Tight end Mark Andrews arguably today had his best day of camp, including a touchdown pass in the red zone from Lamar Jackson over TJ Tampa in 11-on-11. I don't think we have the same Mark Andrews as we had. That doesn't mean you need to be overly concerned about Andrews, what we're going to get. So he's going to have the ball all to himself. I mean, a lot of these, tight ends too haven't been taking a spot and doing too much against them either as well. So TJ Tampa, I'm sorry. So getting the touchdown over TJ Tampa, a lot of these receivers, you're going to have Andrews do well this year. Maybe not the same player, but he's definitely going to get every opportunity. Lamar, I think Lamar's going to be fine. I'm not so worried about Lamar as well. He's going to throw the ball. It'll be interesting to see Lamar this year, how much he actually runs, if he's actually running more than he used to, if he's actually doing more as far as running as he once did. So that'll be fascinating to see. And let's hear one more time from Jesse Minter.
I'm obsessed. Best decision ever.
You know, it's one of those plays. I mean, really not much between the two guys in the play. So whether it was hitting the ground or whatever it was, we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, I really don't know yet.
Where's Mama?
That's what my friend calls me.
Where's Mama?
Yeah, I got a lot of confidence in the corner room. I mean, I look at Marlon probably had his best couple days the last couple times out here. Cheeto, I mean, this guy's played a ton of football, played at a really high level. I think he's had a great camp up to this point. TJ Tampa's done a lot of great things. Keon Martin's done a lot of good stuff. Chandler's done a lot of great stuff. We got some young guys battling trust and spots, and so I feel really good about the secondary overall. You know, it's one of those plays. I mean, really not much between the two guys in the play. So,
all right. So that was Jesse Minter talking about a little bit about the Nate Wiggins injury yesterday. Bit of a scare. I think that's a real thing. Getting a scare from Jesse Minter. And Jesse Miller talking about it. Of course, he's going to say he has confidence in the cornerback room, as he should with that. So, again, interesting to see how that goes as well. Ravens did practice today, had an off day as well. We'll see how they go ahead and go about it. We got a game this week. So this is a game week as well. So definitely Saturday night, M&T Bank Stadium. Let's see. What time does the game start here? 7 o'clock on Saturday night, August 15th. Philadelphia Eagles. Lamar Jackson also, too, it has been said, not a big surprise, will not play at all in the preseason. Makes all the sense in the world. So a lot of coaches nowadays taking the more cautious route in terms of preseason, not playing players at all in some cases. And so we will see about that. All right. There's your second Ravens report. We got one more next week. We're going to do that. And also, too, we're going to predict the 53-man rosters as well. So definitely check that out once we have our roster right there. All right, more football.
I see. It's scattered. Yes, I see.
We're getting towards the end of the summer, and we're getting towards the end of our list here. We got a couple more, 4 more of these top 10 lists of the NFL as far as that goes. So we got linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties, and then the head coach as well. We're not going to do kickers, top 10 kickers as well, but we're not going to do kickers, safeties, and any of that other stuff. Eventually, like once we start doing daily stuff, we might do that here as well. All right. So, who are the 10 best on-ball linebackers? I used to do edge rush, outside linebackers, inside linebackers, off the ball. A lot of teams now aren't doing a base 3-4 or 4-3. They're running like 4-2-5. Nowadays in NFL, frankly, there's less linebackers on the field, more guys throwing the ball as well. Defenses, linebackers, even teams that call themselves 3-4-4-3 actually have more guys on the field, have more passing on the field, more teams running 3 wide. So linebackers, again, still though, if you have one of these guys, massive impact for a lot of these guys. Number 10, Devin Lloyd, formerly of the Jags, now of the Panthers as well. This is what you call a tackle machine as well. So Devin Lloyd was really good last year in recent years. So sack and a half last year, 5 interceptions, which is really good. What you want is this guy actually is very good in the passing lanes and taking the ball away. Going to definitely be playing for the Panthers this year, signed a free agent contract with Carolina. I think that'll absolutely energize him. Who's this contract? Signed a contract, 3 years, $45 million, $25 million bonus. So the Panthers absolutely believe in him as well. I think he's top 10. I think this guy, you got to have guys with interceptions. So a good tackler, but I think I take the other way. Take some risk at times. So that's interesting as well. Another guy who's really good getting the picks, Ernest Jones of the Seahawks. Seahawks defense, I think, is really good. So I think, again, had a good year last year. Seahawks obviously won the Super Bowl. I thought he had his best season of his career. Kenny Continue, again, another guy with 5 interceptions last year off the ball. Surrounded by a lot of good defensive players, which always helps as well. Very good at taking the quarterback. I see him a lot. So not as hard a hitter maybe as you love as well, but very good at taking the ball. He's also, too, that hybrid guy. You could kind of put him at safety as well. Good versatility. So I do like Ernest Jones here. I have him in the top 10, number 9. Number 8, Devin White of the Lions. That's right. He's got a Raider helmet on, and he's now with the Lions. Devin White, I think, made his bones for years as a member of the Bucs. So he started in 2019 as well. This guy is blazing speed. That's the thing I think about when I see him. Actually, to get around him, that term with linebackers, you talk about a guy sideline to sideline. That's exactly what he is, sideline to sideline. When you got a guy who can, in the short area, he's gonna eat, he's gonna gobble you. Kind of reminds me of former Buck Derek Brooks with him. He's just gonna gobble you up. You got a guy in front of him, he's just gonna gobble you up. Great speed, little smallish. That's kind of probably why he's been moving from team to team a little bit as well, because he doesn't fit on every defense everywhere because he is kind of small. But he had a good season last year. I mean, 95 tackles, 1 interception, 2.5 sacks. I think this guy's really good. I definitely like Devin Wright. Number 7, Nick Bolton for the Chefs. I've been saying this the last couple of years. We talk about how good Chris Jones is on that defense. We've been talking about McDuffie. I think this guy is one of the most underrated players in the entire league. Nick Bolton, I think, is a stud. Definitely too. 108 tackles in 2022. Healthy last year, 73 tackles as well. I think this guy's going to give you 100 tackles. He's a very versatile guy. He could do multiple things. You talk about a guy like Devin Lloyd taking the ball away, and you talk about Ernest Jones taking the ball away, but he's going to get you tackles as well, and he's going to get – it depends on what the game plan does. I think that's why he's underrated. Coaches must love this guy because he can do multiple things right away. So I absolutely love Nick Bolton as a player. I think he's very, very underrated, just a really smart football player, great football instincts, doesn't really miss tackles often. Nick Bolton's really good. I really like Nick Bolton. Number 7 for them. Guys up and comer. Carson Sweninger was a guy who was a middle round pick, and I usually honestly don't have guys in their second year on. I not often. This guy's a special case. This guy, I think like on a better team, I think he definitely would have been 100 plus tackles. I think this guy's 100 plus tackles waiting to happen as well. Reminds me when I see him, the great Zach Thomas. He knows how to get to the runner. Straight line, cuts to the road, excellent stuff. Super smart, this guy. Excellent, heady player as well, and hits when he makes impact. He's not just a guy who can get there. He actually can hit somebody as well. I think also, too, got 2 interceptions last year, 2.5 sacks. I don't necessarily think he's a pass rusher, but he's a guy. He's getting tackles also, too, when I see him close to the line of scrimmage. That matters. Sometimes a guy, gets a lot of tackles, but this guy is getting close to the line of scrimmage as well. So he actually helps you run defense that way. Sweatinger, I really like him. Really, really like him. I think he can be number 1 on this list at some point. Jordan Brooks of the Dolphins at number 5. Look, the season he had last year was just completely unbelievable. Over 100 tackles. One of the league leaders in tackles last season. I don't have – he's a tackle machine, period. He's a guy who's going to get a lot of tackles regardless of the situation. 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. I think Jordan Brooks is a stud and a half as a player. You need guys like this to win. You need guys like this. Not a lot of good players on the Dolphins. Might be the best player on the whole defense, but definitely a guy who's going to get tackles regardless. Just knows how to do it. Simple and plain. Just knows how to get to the ball carrier. Just knows how to get to the. You're not going to have a Jordan Brooks game where he has 2 or 3 tackles. You're going to know he played. So as well. Now getting to the really elite. Zach Braun, number 4, the Eagles. Look, not quite as good as he was the year before. So I think that's fair to say. Because he kind of came out of nowhere like the year before where he just was really went from just a player to an elite player all of a sudden. So he wasn't quite as good last year. Did have some injuries, but I really still like Zach Braun. Zach Braun, I think, is a complete linebacker. 64 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 2 interceptions. So I think Zach Braun, I think, is right there. If somebody says Zach Braun is the best linebacker in the league, I don't have too big of a problem with that. I think he's a little bit more because I don't think he has the durability of the guys ahead of him. So I think that's the big thing. I don't see 17, 18 games over a long period. But Zach Braun, I think, is a force multiplier. Definitely, too. Jordan Brooks is a tackle machine. This guy's a force multiplier. He's going to attack you and then some. Get some plays, get a turnover, etc. Zach Braun, number 4 for the Eagles. Number 3, our guy, Roquan Smith. Some of y'all are being a little too hard on Roquan, like in terms of him not being really good. Let's just slow down. Okay? Now, he's going to be 29 years old. Did have some issues last year. Didn't have the amount of tackles that we're used to seeing with Roquan. I do think not quite as good. He had a stretch of like 6 weeks where he wasn't the Roquan we've been seeing. But I think the second half of the year, he pretty much was. I think Roquan, I solely believe that this guy is still an elite linebacker, and he's going to be a top 5, top 3 linebacker. I don't have any questions about it. At times, he's the best in the NFL as well. Not great all the time. There are some times where I think now I've seen him where the impact isn't always there like it once was. So that's a bit of a concern. But I'm not too worried about Roquan. I think Roquan, again, does everything well. Great leader. And he's become more of a leader now. I like that. He's the guy now getting everybody fired up before the game. That's really good. I think Roquan, number 3. Number 2, Jack Campbell of the Lions. Campbell's the real deal, guys. Again, hasn't been in the league a long time. He's a guy, this is, I think, his 3rd year. Campbell, but I think Campbell's going to get you. Campbell's going to get to the quarterback side. I think that's the thing you really like about him. He's not just a guy who's just going to get the tackles and get him way lost. He's going to get the quarterback side. He's also going to give you some pass rush as well. I believe he's got the type of ability where he can get 10 sacks, and he's a natural leader on the field as well. Despite the fact that he's not been in the league 8, 9, 7, you could tell he's in charge out there, quarterback of the defense for sure. This was the guy I thought about for sure, quarterback of the defense, when you talk about a guy that's like Jack Campbell, natural guy who's in charge of everything. There's no question who's calling the plays on the defense. There's no question about those things. Jack Campbell is a stud. I think Jack Campbell, I think it's only a matter of time before he's the best linebacker, I think, in the NFL. There's no question about it. But he's not better right now than, I think, number 1, Fred Warner of the Niners. Warner does it all, man. No such thing. There isn't a weakness in his game, period. He's going to get a lot of tackles. He's going to get the ball. He's going to take the ball away. He's going to read the defense. He's going to run the defense. He's not going to miss a lot of time. I think he's one of the better Niners as far as that goes, as far as making time. He's very there's nothing. There's no weakness on it. There's no weakness in it. This is the most impactful. This is the most impactful linebacker, I think, in the NFL. There's no question about it. Fred Warner, number 1 for the Niners.
Open up your ears. I said, down there.
There you go. The Niners. Fred Warner, I think, is really, really good. So this is a guy I think that's really the Niners have a veteran team. We're going to talk about that when we get to the NFL preview, but it's interesting to see. A lot of these guys have been really good for a long time. Can they maintain it in a really tough division? So I think the Niners are going to be really interesting. I think Warner, I think, is still the class of the league. Roquan is still really good, guys. Slap sleeping on Roquan. Roquan is still really good. There's a lot of teams in the league, Raven fans, talking to you particularly right now, that would like to have a Roquan Smith on their football team. He is a top 3 line. I think for a while there, you could say he was 1 or fighting for 1. Okay, not the 3, slipped down a little bit, but you look at guys consistently as good as Roquan Smith in the last few years. There isn't that. So there you go. Roquan, number 3, Fred Warner, number 1, as far as linebackers in the league.
Well, Mom, he's been a piece of 3 times. He's got I'm just saying he's been a piece of 3 or 4 times. No, they can't. He has to be found guilty.
Are you guys mad that baseball summer is almost over because it's almost fall? So here we go. So we got a couple more of these next week. We're going to talk about the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, one of the best teams, one of the independent teams. We're going to talk about that. And also, too, we're going to talk about the last one, the baseball summer, the Little League World Series Championship. Love to watch the Little League World Series as well at the end. But now let's talk about tonight. Let's talk a little independent baseball, man. The Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. I can't lie. I just don't like the name, man. I just don't.
Count it all together. No, put the dime down. Do you want this? No. Because I was going to put my gum in the paper.
So the history of the Hagerstown baseball, the Orioles had a minor league team in Hagerstown called the Hagerstown Suns for many, many years. So the Hagerstown Municipal Stadium was one of the oldest stadiums in the minor leagues as well. So the Orioles were no longer a minor league team. I think it was the Orioles for a few years. The Nats were a Suns affiliate for the longest time. So it definitely is a lot of history there as far as baseball in that area as well. So the Frederick Keys have a long history of baseball, but even longer do the Hagerstown Suns. So the Hagerstown Suns ceased to exist as well. And now baseball is back. They brought minor league baseball back in the independent league, and it is with the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. Who were some of the players that actually played for the Suns? This is actually a good team this year as well. Mark Maskowski, former played in the major leagues, is the manager, current manager this year as well. David Blackstone has been the GM ever since they have been back as well. You look at a lot of these minor league teams as well. The personnel that's there the longest is the GM. You look at a lot of these general managers, they have tremendous tenure with these minor league teams, 10 years, 11 years, etc. This guy has a long track record of being a GM of a minor league team. Who's actually been in Hagerstown to play? So now we're talking about guys here that have played in with the Suns, not the Boxcars here as well. But you talk about Bryce Harper. So I think Bryce Harper, who's one of my favorite players in all MLB, played with the Suns in 2011. The Moose, Mike Mussina, mentioned the Orioles were an affiliate of the Suns as well. So he played there in 1990. Arthur Rhodes is fascinating, former Oriole as well. Arthur Rhodes played there in 1991. Arthur Rhodes also, too, was a pitching coach last season for the Boxcars. So I think that's fascinating as well that he went ahead and played there. Got to show you guys Meritus Park. I think this park is absolutely fantastic looking, Meritus Park. So let's go ahead and take a look here at it.
Join us for a historical moment with the grand opening of Meritus Park, Hagerstown's new event stadium and home to the Flying Boxcars. Plan your getaway today at America's newest and most innovative ballpark. You're welcome in Hagerstown, Maryland.
So Meredith Park, let me tell y'all something too, especially you guys who only go to Oriole games and all that, etc. Like, for you have not been to some of these minor league stadiums. I mean, if you think you're just going to sit on the bleachers and sit on a bench, and I'm telling you, some of these minor league stadiums are really, really cool to sit in as well. It's not the size, obviously, isn't like a major league park, but certainly your fan experience for a lot less is very good. All right, so Boxcars this year have a good team right now. Obviously, one of the better teams. Noah Smith.
I'm trying my best.
Sit down.
Management. Anyway, Noah Smith for the Boxcars, 23 years old, having an outstanding season, 3 home runs, 30 RBIs, 19 stolen bases. So you see that a lot of these lower levels of guys. Now, these guys, a lot of them have played in the majors at some point or have been in an organization. These are guys now that are veterans that are no longer with teams. For whatever reason, they're no longer with organization. They're no longer with a major league team. They're no longer with that. They're no longer with another major league team as well. Alex Ochoa for them, 27 years old, having a good power season, 22 home runs. Strong kid. I mean, when you see him as well. It must be trouble hitting something because definitely till you look at him, he has a lot of plate presence at the plate. 280 to 84. Jordan Robert Brooks, 18 home runs, so almost as good as well. 267 average. Jared Carr has been all over the outfield, mostly in center, with 13 home runs, 50 RBIs, 51 stolen bases, leading his international league. I think definitely to outstanding production from him this season. A little bit of pitching news here. Eddie Damaris, 29 years old. This is kind of where you see, though, in these international leagues, where you don't have as much production as well. 7 home runs, 7 wins, 2 losses. 230, 87. I'm sorry. 230 ERA, 230 ERA, 87 strikeouts as well. Very, very good. Clay Helvey been doing a lot of the work in the bullpen. He has 11 saves, 5-4 record as well. He's had a few games where he's came in a little bit earlier, but he's essentially been the closer. A lot of these guys can play in the MLB, I think, or have at some point, but you just wind it out in the independent league. I always think about when independent league players, Ricky Henderson, for a while, before he got back in the majors, played in the independent league. You see guys all the time. Some guys, Trevor Bauer, John Means, etc., play in the independent league. So you can keep playing and get back. Rich Hill pitched for years independent league until he gets back with the Dodgers, and he did very well once he got an opportunity. So these guys are just keeping it going. I have a lot of respect for these guys, especially because they're giving up a lot here to keep playing the game. This is just, these guys are truly in it. It's different when you're a young player or a young person doing something and you're deciding, okay, you want to be a major league player and you want to play, but it's different. Now these guys are giving up things. These guys aren't making a whole lot of money. I'm not saying they have to put them down or anything like that, but what is the independent league salary? So they make about what, $40,000 a year. They make about $1,000 to $2,000 a month in the summer. You know, some guys make as much as $4,000. You know, these are grown men playing baseball, so good for them. Good for them. Keep it 11 game going. And obviously the idea is for them to get back to the majors or back at least in an organization and show what they can do, or sometimes go to Japan and make more money, whatever it is. So definitely check it out if you haven't been. A few more weeks left with the boxcars. I'm telling you, Meredith Park is gorgeous to actually look at if you haven't been to Meredith Park. The boxcars and the Keys are the closest to me right now. So I definitely, that's why I've been there and I've seen it as well, as long as the Keys been there. I actually used to work for one of the sponsors of the Keys years ago, and I'm telling you, no shade to Nimio Field, but man, Meredith Park is beautiful as well. There you go. Baseball summer. Frederick Keys. Boxcars, baseball as well. Let's go ahead and talk about that. We are going to talk more baseball here as we're coming down the stretch. All right. Let's get to yo Baltimore Orioles. Here, let's be clear about something right now, Oriole fans. And I want y'all to understand this, and y'all can go ahead and put thumbs down and all you want to. All right? It's not dead yet. You can say that all you want. They're not dead yet. Have they looked like a team that is going to go into the playoffs and do something? No way. Not a chance. There's no chance. They look like it. They're 58-63 right now, but they're still only 2.5 games out of the wild card. So I'm not accepting the fact that if you're telling me it's not. You look at the Rangers, they're 60-60. We just played the Rangers, and they are absolutely not a team that's, that's a juggernaut. One of these teams is going to get in here. Rangers, Tigers, Guardians, Blue Jays, Orioles, Mariners. One of those teams is going to get in. The Royals, A's, Angels, pack it up. One of those teams is getting in. So it's not over. So, I know a lot of y'all want to say it's over, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, they haven't looked good. Offensively, it's been a issue. It's been horrible, to say the least. But let's go ahead and chop it up here with the Orioles report. Chris Bassett removed any doubt on the injured list. He's currently on the injured list about where the responsibility for the team lies. I removed any doubt who places the responsibility on a disappointing season. I'm angry at myself. I'm angry at all the guys in here. Elias assembled a good team entering the year. That's what I want to hear from Bassett. I didn't love the Chris Bassett signing. He was injured. I think Blue Jays wouldn't have kept him. I think they kind of knew he's a guy that was past his prime. So, I would definitely think that. But he took the responsibility on himself. I don't know how much he's standing up for Elias, maybe a little bit. But that's what you want to hear a player say often, that he's taking the responsibility for his own play he's taking responsibility for what he's done, because these coaches and GMs and everything and managers pay a price for it. When you don't play well, they get fired. That's the way it works. So it's good to hear him say that as well, that he didn't just blame the GM or whatever. I want to hear players actually say that, and that there's truth to that. As much as you want to be mad at Mike Elias isn't in the batter's box. Mike Elias isn't catching ground balls and catching fly balls and doing it. It's not him. So, I mean, that's good to hear. Cam Sanders is recalled from Norfolk. Kate Povich was optioned to AAA Norfolk. I think he'll be back. I think that this is just gymnastics here, getting a guy up, getting a guy down, saving him, whatever it is, as well. Povich, they don't really need him. I think they probably just want to get him some more starts. He may not start here pretty soon. They got Rogers starting, Baz starting, Bradish starting, Rogers starting, Young starting. So they needed him for a little while. They don't, get him some starts. I think that's what they're doing there with Povich. We'll see him for sure in a few weeks once they expand the rosters a little bit. Jackson Holiday was 2 for 3 with a home run in this 5-1 Saturday loss. Holiday accounted for the Baltimore's entire output. Worth noting, he's hitting third in the lineup. They have, with all the moves, with Adley Rushman gone, with Taylor Ward gone, they have moved up in the order Jackson Holiday and Pete Alonso. I think he's actually looked better playing every day. And I think it's the case. We'll talk about Kobe Mayo in a minute. See. But look, not everybody with the philosophy the Orioles seem to have, lefty-righty, obsessed with lefty-righty, obsessed with these guys. Some guys just need to play. Now, it's fair. I was even saying earlier here, he was pretty much getting outplayed by Jeremiah Jackson and Blaze Alexander. But some guys need to play every day. Not everybody's Jim Dwyer or Gary Renicky or John Lowenstein. Those are platoon guys for you young guys that don't know those guys. Not everybody is that. So I think that's a real thing with these guys. Jackson Hollis is a young guy. He needs to play. Every time he's played a lot of games in a row, he looks better. And I think that's what the case right now. So I think that's why he's warming up a little bit. Felix Bautista doesn't need a big buildup. Out with information since June. That's Ryan Helsey began throwing. Still has several more hurdles to clear. The thought is that Bautista and Helsey will be back at some point. So you talk about not being out of it yet. You're getting two guys in the late innings that can really help you as well. Helsey, I think we were kind of fearing the worst. Now we're getting better news that he possibly can be back this year. That's good. Batista's been out since July 2025. It's been over 12 months by now. I do think that he should be back. Should be back by now. I definitely think here in September we could be seeing the mound back on the mound. Also, too, you should be seeing Housen as well. That would be good news to get them both back in the lineup as well, because it's not over as well. Ryan Mountcastle suffered a torn oblique during his recovery after an earlier foot fracture, broken foot. Might not return this season, according to team president Mike Elias. Mounties had a setback. Basically, it was unlikely that he returned anyway. In his process of trying to return towards torn oblique muscle, I think we probably seen the last of Ryan Mountcastle playing as an Oriole in general. I definitely think they're going to move on from him in the offseason in some form, via trade, via release, via something like that. There's not really a spot for him, I don't think, anyway. Certainly not the way Pete Alonso played as well. So that too, if you're going to keep Kobe Mayo as well. Interesting to see what happens with Mountie. May have played his last game as an Oriole as well. Recent splits for Kobe Mayo going forward Wednesday's action are excellent. Last 7 games, 381, 409, 667, Last 15 games, 310, 356, 619. The first one is batting average. The second one, the first one is batting average. The second one is OPS. Third one is slow. Last 30 games, 278, 337, 595. He's fantastic against lefties. I'm not as big as some guys are in general on the whole lefty-righty thing with players. It's a clear, and because I do think people forget it's true of all players. Like, even players that play every day, a lot of them hit better against righties than they do against lefties, or vice versa. People seem to forget that. So it's definitely true. It's certainly true of Mayo. I mean, you can clearly see a guy against left-handers is much, much better as well. So Mayo, again, here's another one. Playing every day, playing every game. He's looked more comfortable. Certain guys, young guys especially, you can't yank him in and out of the lineup. So now moving on from these guys, he's getting a chance and he's looked better. Mayo, despite everything we've said about Mayo, may still have a chance at 20-plus home runs, 25, 20. I think that's definitely, and his average has improved. You see the stats there lately because he has hit more. He's playing more as well. So I think that's true of Kobe Mayo as well. First round pick Eric Booth is playing in Delmarva. As well. Got his first minor league hit as a pro as well. So let me get back up there. So you see Booth, Ty Head, a lot of those guys playing in Delmarva. Short season as well. They're hitting actually early in the lineup. I think they're hitting 2 and 3. Good stuff. Eric Booth there as well. Also, two Orioles have acquired minor league outfielder Harold Rivas from the Red Sox as the player to be named later. Love that thing as well. Per announcements from both clubs. So definitely the Orioles got a player to be named later. It's finally official. The Adley Rutschman trade is done as well. Adley, I think, is actually back on the field for the Red Sox as well. So see how this works out. Who's hot right now? Leah Taveras. This is about as good as he's been lately as far in a good while. Actually played well, playing a lot of right field. Had a good catch today out in the outfield. Kobe Mayo, we just talked about him. He's doing better as well. I put him in the hot category. Brandon Young, I think, is going to be their guy for sure. That's going to get double-digit wins this season as well. I think he's been good. He's had some good luck with the runs, unlike Shane Baz, but I do think that's a thing. Who's not? Gunnar Henderson. He had a good day the other day, but it's been tough to watch Gunnar. He's pressing. You saw where I guess I'm kind of spoiled watching Cal Ripken play for so many years. He was a guy, he never really tried to hit home runs as much count. I mean, he was so big and strong, he would hit home runs. That's kind of what you want to see with Gunnar Henderson. With Gunnar Henderson, he's just swinging for the fences every time I see him. He's at the shoelaces every time. And sometimes it's working, and a lot of times it isn't working. That's why he's hitting like 210. But definitely too, I'm concerned now with Gunnar. He had a good day the other day. I mean, so that's good. We need to see more consistency, but concerned. Grant Wolfram and Rico Garcia. Wolfram's been struggling for a while now. I think he's been not pitching well for a good while as well. And I think Rico Garcia's just been overused. I think he's spent as a pitcher. I think he could use 3 or 4 days off or something like that. But they've used him early in the year because he was the only one pitching on the bullpen for a while in every single high leverage situation. And I think now I don't think it worked in his favor. I think he's a little worn down. I think he got a little worn down. Next week, the first place Tampa Bay Rays and the New York Yankees coming to Baltimore as well. Rays, I think, are the best team in the American League. I don't think there's any question about it. I think their pitching is first rate. I think their offense, has been better than what anybody thinks. I think Camarillo is might be the best young player in the league, one of the most exciting young players as well. And the Yankees are the Yankees. I think even scarier coming, they should be getting the monster back soon, Aaron Judge. as well. So they've been hanging in there at the top of the wild card. I think they've been in first in a lot of divisions as well, but they're in there with Tampa, who's also really good. Yes, you need to be quiet. I said it.
I know.
Yeah, and I said it.
I know.
And it's on the podcast too. All right, and Pete Alonso.
Good for you.
And Pete Alonso is the player of the week here. Alonso, I think you haven't gotten a lot from a lot of these guys that have been underperforming. You talked about Gunnar Henderson. You talked about a lot of these guys. You've gotten exactly what you wanted from Pete Alonso this year. You got exactly what you wanted from Pete Alonso. 25 home runs. He's definitely a 30-plus home runs. I'd like to see the average around 260, 270 for a guy what you're paying him if you have to nitpick, but I'm good with it. But definitely, too, Alonso's been good. A couple home runs this week. Fantastic stuff this year from Pete Alonso. We got a football game this week, so definitely check that out. Definitely, too, Saturday night. Ravens and the Eagles, definitely check that out as well. We'll be reporting on that. Check it out on all of our social media platforms. Thank you very much for watching. You have a great day.